So what's up YouTube, welcome back to the channel once again. I appreciate having you here today. I've got my coffee and I've got my laptop, which means I'm finally going to get round to answering the questions that you asked way back in November. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to crack on with the questions. I'm sorry it's so overdue due to my laziness and rebuilding the house and things going on. Basically just due to my laziness, I haven't got round to it. But I'm going to do it now. I'm going to be looking down because my laptop is down here. I'm not looking at my penis to read the questions. Honestly, all the questions are on my laptop. And I'm going to read them out and try and answer them as best as I can. They're in no particular order, they're just in the order that they come up on the screen. So let's crack on with question number 1, and that's from Mr. V-Rob, my boy from the USA. And his question is, do you need surgery for those rocks in your arms? And I know this is because of the thumbnail, it makes me look like I've got big arms. I haven't. It's just the lighting and clever trickery. Although if you go over to my Instagram page, you will see it, and you'll see, if I can get it up on here, I will. But if not, if I'm too lazy to put that in the edit, it's over on my Instagram page. Go and check that out, official Mr. Fish. And it's me just posing like this, and it was taken from the video, just a still. I just happened to be doing something with my head, and I thought it looks a bit funny, taking the mickey out of myself a little bit, and put that as a thumbnail. Then Fori photoshopped it and came out with a brilliant Photoshop, best Photoshop of 2017. So the answer to the question is probably yes, I will need surgery, or great lighting and camera angles. So, question from Spicy110. If you could remove one fruit from ever existing, what would it be? Wow, I've never had to think of doing a fruit cull. What would I get rid of? I don't like pears, so I'd get rid of a pear maybe. But then, we all like a pear. Banana. Gonna get rid of a banana simply because they make me feel inadequate. So before I move on to question 3, what I also did was ask people to do a would you rather as well. So some people have included would you rather questions as well as a normal question. So I'm just letting you know that some of those are going to come up as well. So we'll move on and crack on with question 3, and that is by Keith Wong. So question number 1 by Keith Wong, which is actually question 3 in the series, but question 1 by Keith Wong is your dream car. Now, dream cars, it depends if you mean modern or old. Old cars, I'd like an old VW bus, like a Samba bus, like all done up nicely. I like those. And the old Mercedes Gullwing, I'm not actually sure of the model number, but the old Gullwing from, I think it's the 50s or 60s, I love those. New cars, Porsche. I like Porsche 911s, or Porsche 911s, however you like to say it. I like 911s. And question number 2 from Keith Wong is, would you rather appear in Men's Health or motorcycle magazines? Do you know what? Men's Health, because it means I'm healthy and I've done something right with the body. Motorcycle magazines tends to be more about the bike than me. It sounds like I'm selfish and big-headed and I want it all to be about me. But no, it just means if I'm in Men's Health magazine, for once I've got a six-pack. Sorry, I didn't realise that was up there. Anyway, back to the question. Yeah, Men's Health. I'd rather be in that because it means I've been to the gym and my body looks absolutely pa-ting. Don't know what that means. Right, question number 4. And that's by Hippodrones. And he says, my question is, if you had to pick one, where would you live? UK or USA? UK. I love this country. I absolutely love this country. But I'd like to have a home in the USA as well, so I can ride over there in the winter. The only problem with the UK is we're overcrowded. There's too many people on the roads for motorcycling. Our roads are getting worse and worse and worse. But I do like to adventure on those tiny little roads that cars don't tend to take. So it's not too bad. But I love the USA as well. If I could choose, it would be both. But if I had to stay in one, I don't know, you know. It's difficult. I'd say UK, because you've got to stick with your roots. Oh, I don't know. I love riding in the USA. It's like there's so much space You can ride for hours without seeing another soul, and I like that. I like, sounds wrong, but I like my alone time. But UK or USA. Can't make up my mind. Thanks for that, Hippo Drones. I appreciate the mind. CM Moto asks, would you rather have the car of your life or bike of your life? Bike. Cars, I could live without a car, but I couldn't live without a bike. Next question is by Adam_WMV. On a scale of 1 to 10, how good is this question? 2. Lame. And would you rather the world's overpopulation problem be solved by killing anyone over the age of 70 or by killing the stupid? The stupid. Because I'm getting towards 70 now. I'm heading more towards 70. I'm 47 this year. So I'm heading up that way. So at some point, they're going to have to cull me. So I'd rather say the stupid, although maybe I'll get culled in that as well. I'd rather kill no one. I'm a lover, not a fighter. So the next question is from one of my homeboys, and that is Mr. Tim Kreitz Adventures. And the question is, at what point do individual grains of sand become a pile of sand? And this is typical of Tim Kreitz. Won't ask the normal question, has to ask something complicated. And I would say the point individual grains of sand become a pile of sand is in the month of June. Do you get it? I'll help you out. In June. That's good. Pat on the back for that one. Right, next one is by Bulldog Gaz. Just starts off by saying, short but funny, great stuff, mate. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And the question is, if someone tied your hands to your sides, would you still be able to talk? Yes, but not in such an animated fashion. Let's try it. I'll put my hands down. No, I couldn't talk. Nothing. Couldn't talk. Amazing. I never knew that. Thanks for the question. Right, next question is by Joel Sweatman. Were you born with those guns, arms, in brackets, or do you work out? It's not that big. They're not that great. It was all camera angles, and I thought it was a funny thumbnail. Yes, I do work out on and off, not as much as I want to, but hopefully those guns will look real by the summer. Next question is by Deep South, and I'm not expecting this to be pleasant. Going on his track record. Oh, would you rather A, have a threesome with Spicy 110 and Smo and be the meat in the sandwich and have nobody know, or B, have everyone think you did? I thought everyone knew anyway. And by the way, it was Smo. Smo was the meat in the sandwich. Me and Spicy, or should I say correctly, Spicy and I, ruined him. So the next question is by JD. I'm going to read this name out. JD in capital letters, ILPKLE. So J Dill Pickle, something like that. So the question is, what do you think about the 2018 Africa Twin? Would you rather trade up to the 18 or stay where you are with the current Africa Twin? And I assume you mean by the adventure model with the bigger tank and all the gizmos on and the upgraded stuff with the traction control, the fly-by-wire, the cruise control, all that stuff. Yes, I would trade up to that one in a heartbeat. Not a problem, because they're all the bits that I complained about with this one. The smaller tank. This one's got a small tank, only do about 170 miles before I run out of juice, and I would like cruise control as standard. So yes, I would trade up. Right, so the next question is by Mothman46, and it says, he's got two questions actually. He's got a would you rather and a question. The question is, how many European countries have you ridden to from your home in the UK? Not a lot. I've only been to Belgium, so it'd be UK, not even UK, England, France, Belgium. That's it. I haven't been anywhere else on the bike. I've ridden elsewhere on bikes, but I haven't ridden to the countries. I plan on doing more, but over the past few years I've had many injuries and medical problems which has restricted me from doing it. Well, they haven't really restricted me, I've used them as an excuse. But hopefully I will do some more in the future. He's also got a would you rather question, and that is, would you rather go riding with Max Biaggi or go to a drunken SCMM 2018 with Pippa Middleton? No brainer, SCMM 2018. Max Biaggi, never been a fan. Although he's all right now, he's retired, he's quite chilled out. But when he was racing, I'm a massive Valentino Rossi fan. So if you are a Valentino Rossi fan, you can't be a Max Biaggi fan. It's just the way it goes. It's the rules. It's the law. He's a nice guy though. I've heard he's a real nice guy. Not that I've met him. I know people that have met him and said he's a nice guy. But SCMM 2018 with my mates and Pippa Middleton, it's got to be done. Right, so next question. Walker Mob Boss, he's a top man. Go and check him out. And he says, will you ever come to LA versus SD? Now, for those of you that don't know, LA versus SD is a San Diego meetup for Los Angeles and San Diego, and they have a big meetup in January. So it's coming up, I think it's 27th of January this year. And it's organized by Ghost Ninja and Bash 041. So if you are in the San Diego area, go and check that out and pay them a visit. They also have stuff available on Teespring, so check them out. Would I ever come? Yes, I would say I would like to come. It's all money dependent. If I have the money to come, I will come, definitely. It's on my list to do because I love San Diego. When I was there last year, I absolutely loved the place. And my boys Bash 041 and Ghost Ninja host it, so I've got to represent the UK with those guys. And he's also got a would you rather question, and it said, would you rather be missing an arm or a leg? And it says, love your show, brother. Love you too, mate. Man stuff there. If it was my legs, it'd have to be my left leg so I could still drive. But then foot brake. But then I could buy a scooter. I would buy a scooter or an automatic. I could get the... Now these are in automatic. Yeah, leg. I like my arms. Because, as we proved earlier, I can't talk without them. So, leg. I'd rather be missing a leg. But not a whole leg, just to below the knee. So the next question is by Renegade, and he says, have you ever thought about collaborating with other YouTubers? And what do you think the future of your channel looks like? Would I like to go and do collaborations with more YouTubers? Yes. That's why I do YouTube, is to meet people, to meet... other motovloggers and other vloggers, and go and travel and just hang out and have a good time. So yes, I would like to do collaborations, and I have thought about it quite a lot. What do I think of the future of the channel? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Hopefully I can get to 4,000 subscribers before my birthday, which is in March, the beginning of March. So click that subscribe button right now. Let's get up there. I'm on 3,850ish, something like that. So about 150 to go to then. End of the year, I would like to get up to 5,000, because if I can get up to 5,000, I may be releasing some merchandise. I don't know about that yet. But as long as it keeps growing, that's all I care about. As long as it keeps growing and I keep enjoying the videos, I'm happy. I hope that answered your question. So the next question is by Miss Armed Legally. And she's a very avid supporter of motor vloggers, so a big up to you. She's a lovely lady. Question is, will you get any more tattoos, and would you rather ride a Honda Goldwing or drive a Prius? I would like to get more tattoos, answering the first question. My wife hates tattoos, so it's a bit of a sticky situation. I want to get my left leg done, my thigh, and half of my back, because I want this shoulder and arm done, which I've already got done, and I want that section of my body done. So it's just this bit and that bit, so it's sort of like, I don't know how to explain it, but yes, I would like more tattoos. The would you rather question is, would you rather ride a Honda Goldwing or drive a Prius? And I have to say Honda Goldwing every day of the year, especially the new one. I've seen the new Honda Goldwing only in pictures and on the internet, but I have to say it looks really, really nice. Maybe that's because I'm getting on a bit and I'm getting towards old age, but yeah, Honda Goldwing. Priuses, I hate them. Apart from the Klebs one, because that's red and really fast and the Kleb drives it, and I like the Kleb. Right, moving on to the next question. That's by Bearded Tree Surgeon. Mate, what do you do for work? Train driver. And then his would you rather question is, would you rather give up Jack Daniels or give up playing the drums? Jack Daniels. I will never give up playing the drums. Jack Daniels. I can live without Jack Daniels because there's other bourbons out there. I could drink Jim Beam or Wild Turkey or something. There's loads of bourbons out there. So I can give up Jack Daniels, but I will never, ever, ever give up the drums. Right, next question is by Loops. That's a name I haven't heard for a while. How you doing, my friend? I hope it's all going well down under. My question is, when am I coming down under? I don't know. I want to, but it's a hell of a trek. I've got to get down for at least a month. If I'm going down to Australia, it has to be for about a month. Otherwise, it's not really worth it. And it's damn expensive. So hopefully, in the next few years, I'll get down. Sounds like I'm going to dance. Right, so the next question is by Adam NDJ. I only have a would you rather. That's fine. That is fine. So his question is, would you rather spend a week hanging out in a hotel in SoCal, for those of you that don't know, that's Southern California, or spend a week bike camping up Highway 1 and 101 from the Mexican border to the Canadian border? Easy question. I would rather ride from the Mexican border up to the Canadian border, up the 1 and the 101. I did drive Highway 1 for a little bit from San Francisco down to Pismo Beach, and I loved it, and I would love to ride a bike all the way up there. So that's a no-brainer. Mexico to Canada. Right, next question is Rumble Bumble 675. I'm guessing you ride a Triumph. How long have you been riding, and how many bikes have you owned in that time is the first part. I've been riding for about, this makes me sound old now, 25 years? Maybe longer. 25. Maybe even longer than that. How many bikes have you owned? Right, let's try and list them. You'll have to count, or I'll put a count on the screen, because I don't know how many. I can just list them. So I started off Thomas 50cc, great bike. Then Suzuki DR125, Ducati 750 SS, wrote that off. Then had a CB400, wrote that off. Then had Suzuki Bandit 1200, then sold that because I was going to kill myself, Street Fighter that up, that was a nice bike. And bought a Gilera SP180 scooter, 2-stroke manic thing. Funny enough, wrote that off. You see the theme here. Then gave up for a little bit, then came back and bought, what did I buy when I came back? Benelli Velvet 125 scooter. That just died, broke. I didn't ride it off, just broke. Then I bought a KLR 650 Kawasaki, swapped that for a Harley Davidson Sportster, swapped that for CBF 600, the naked one. Then I swapped that for a Honda Silverwing scooter, a massive maxi scooter, great bike. Then I swapped that for an SV650 Suzuki. I swapped the SV650 for a PS125 little tiny scooter, and that's the most miles I've ever done in a year was on that little scooter. Then I got rid of that and bought an SH300i scooter. Got rid of the SH300i, bought a Yamaha Tenere 660. Wrote that off. That's when I had the massive accident, so I gave up for 3 years after that with injuries and promises and stuff like that. When I went back into motorcycling in 2014, I bought a Piaggio BV350, swapped that for the CB500X, my first one. Then I bought a Honda Grom as well, so I had the 2 bikes. Then I got rid of the CB500X, bought the Tracer 700, didn't like that. So I got rid of that, bought this, the Africa Twin. Then a few weeks ago or months ago, I got rid of the Honda Grom and bought that CB500X. So I hope you were counting. I didn't bother. Maybe I'll count up and put it in the screen. And the next part of it is would you rather, and it says, would you rather ride pillion with the Spice Master, which is Spicy 110, or eat your own eyeballs? And it says, love your content, dude. Thank you very much, I appreciate that. It's going to be eat my own eyeballs. I hate riding pillion. I absolutely hate it. I think it's because you have no control over what's going on. Although I love you, Spicy, you know I do, I'm not riding bitch with you. Right, so next question is by Wolfie Picks, and he's got a would you rather, and then 3 questions, you greedy Right, so firstly, would you rather go to the moon or go to the bottom of the ocean, and why? I never thought it'd be that deep. Ocean joke. I've got no desire to go to either, but out of the 2, moon. Question 1, if you could do any job, what would it be and why? I'd like to get paid to travel on my motorcycle. And yeah, just travel around the world on a motorcycle and get paid for it. But not minuscule amounts, a lot of money. I don't want to stay in hovels, I want to stay in, not luxury, but semi-decent hotels. I don't want to be camping everywhere because my body is old and decrepit and it's falling to bits, so I want a little bit of comfort. But it'd be nice to be paid to go and do fun things. So question 2, if money was no object, what car or bike would you buy and why? Car, I don't know. I'm not flash in the sense I don't like to draw attention to myself. So cars are a bit difficult. I've always wanted a 911, so I'd probably get a 911. What bike would I buy and why? I don't know. If I could keep the bikes I've got now, I'd buy a cruiser. I'd probably buy a Harley of some kind. Although everyone thinks I hate on Harley, I don't. I absolutely love them. But as an only bike, no, I wouldn't buy one. But if I could only have one bike, it'd probably be the GS 1200 Adventure. All tricked up, everything on it. And, oh, there's more questions. I've just opened it up. It's got more questions. There's another 2 under there. Right, so let's get on with question 3. Race ride with anyone alive or dead? Valentino Rossi. Have to be Valentino Rossi. You know what I mean? Even though we wouldn't be racing, he'd just be lapping me, probably about 6 times on the first lap. But Valentino Rossi. And someone that I'd ride with that I've never ridden before with that is deceased would be my dad. I never got to ride with him. And I know that would have been quite special. Anyway, moving on to question 4. If you could live for a week with any vlogger or motor vlogger, who would it be? I don't know. In this country, no. I wouldn't like to single anyone out because I don't know. The Kleb would be interesting. It probably wouldn't be a wise decision to live with him for a week, but it'd be interesting. But any of my boys from California, I'd quite happily live and hang out with them for weeks. Anyone you see in my video that I've promoted and represented and we've had fun and laughs, I would hang out with them quite happily for a week. So I couldn't pick one out of all of those. It would be unfair. Question 5. Where did you put my gold sticker? It's still in a box somewhere. I've got a box of stickers that I need to put on my bikes, but I haven't sorted out my garage yet, so I don't know where anything is. I only moved, well, I moved a few months ago, but this is kind of the storage area. I haven't got the garage set up. I need to do a load of building work to it, get ramps in. So when I do that, I will dig out the sticker and I shall put it somewhere and I will let you know where that sticker is. So the next question is by Matt Rowe and it's a would you rather? And he says, would you rather restore or customize a Vincent Black Shadow, a classic BMW R Series, or a Brough Superior? I'd have to say BMW R Series because I love CAF racers, or cafe racers, however you want to pronounce it. And the BMW R Series lends itself to that, in my opinion, better than the other two. Although Brough Superiors are worth money and Vincent's are worth money, more probably than the BMW. But I just like the engine on the BMW. I just like the twin, the way the cylinder heads kick out. So next question is by Abortini. And where in the world would you like to visit and why? Doesn't have to be somewhere new. And would you rather not ride for a year or not have sex for a year? Now, where in the world would you like to visit and why? Oh, everywhere. Plenty of places. I want to go to Australia. I want to come back to the USA, and I'd like to ride the whole of the USA. I'd like to ride Canada. I'd like to ride Africa, South Africa, Japan. I'd like to ride through Japan. So there's lots of places I would love to visit if I could ride. I wouldn't go necessarily to some of these countries just to visit because I want to ride around them. And the would you rather question is, would you rather not ride for a year or not have sex for a year? Not ride for a year. Even though technically it's both the same thing, if you think about it. So the next question is by Richard Sims and it says, what is your camera and mic setup, please, buddy? Depends what you mean. This camera here is a Canon G7X. The camera I use on the bike is a GoPro Hero 4 Black. The mic setup is a little Sony one you can get on Amazon. And his question is also Star Wars or Star Trek, choose wisely. Neither. I don't like either of them. But if I was to choose Star Wars, because I cannot stand Star Trek, but only the original Star Wars films, as long as I don't have to watch them again and then I realise how bad the special effects are. So, Star Wars. Right, so next question is by Critical Hunter and it is, what was your first bike and would you rather ride a bike with stiff suspension on a sandy beach or a rocky one? And he also ends it with, P.S. I'll never unsubscribe. Top man, I like you. First bike was a Thomas, I don't know what the model was, Thomas 50cc step-through scooter thing that I broke trying to clear a tabletop on a BMX track. And would I rather ride a bike with stiff suspension on a sandy beach or a rocky one? Sandy beach. Rocky one, you'd lose your testicles. Next question is by Aaron Mullins. Would you rather answer our questions or leave them in YouTube limbo forever? Well, the easiest answer is YouTube limbo forever. Then I wouldn't have to record this and it would be an easy day for me. But no, if you ask a question, I will always try and answer. I know this is joking and mucking around, but whatever the video is, if you leave a comment, I will always try and get back to you. The next question is by Stuart Dixon. And it says, I've been meaning to ask for ages where you got the jingle at the end of your videos. It depends which one you're talking about. If you're talking about the latest one, it's one of my daughter's tracks. She's a musician, she writes her own stuff, and she's got her own channel. And it's available on iTunes, Spotify, and places like that. So go and check her out. Talia Ma. She's much better at this shit than I am. So the next question is by Metalhead Vlogs, and it's, would you rather have your body found on a pile of sex toys? Or have everyone you know see your entire browsing history? If I didn't have a family, I'd say pile of sex toys, just for the rumours afterwards. There'd be great stories. But safe bet is browsing history, because I'm not as bad as you think. Next question is Demon Barber. Are you related to the weatherman Michael Fish? You know, the one who got it wrong in 1987. No. Next question is by AW Adventures. Would you rather have no bike for a year or not do YouTube for a year? And can you plan another meetup for the new year? I'd rather not do YouTube for a year. I like riding, so I can do without YouTube for a year, but I can't do without a bike for a year. And can you plan another meetup for the new year? I was thinking about doing an early meetup, maybe Marchish, like a beginning of season meet. I did an end of season meet last year in September, so maybe a beginning of season. I don't know yet. I'm not making any promises. I'm not saying I am. I'm not saying I'm not. I'm thinking about it. So the next question is by Bimble, an absolute top bunny, mad as a box of frogs. Go and check him out. How does it feel to be the lesser of two vloggers in your household? You know, less talent, less charm, less subs, that sort of thing. Me and you are going to fall out. Although credit where credit's due, your hair care vids are so much better. It feels great. I'd rather be the lesser. I'd rather my kids do better than I do. That's all I ask in life, that my children do better than I do. And as long as they are, I'm very happy. So his would you rather question is, would you rather let Donald Trump in your face? I see what you did there. I see that. Or would you rather sit on top of his shiny tower for a night? His shiny tower, as long as you mean his shiny tower and not his penis. Because that way I don't have to meet him, because I don't want to meet him. End of. He also says, P.S. he loves me really, and I love you too. Right, next question is by North Yorkshire Biker, and it's would you rather have chickens the size of horses or horses the size of chickens, and why? And because I love eating chicken, it would have to be chicken the size of horses. Could you imagine fried chicken, southern fried chicken the size of horses? Damn! Could you imagine how big that bargain bucket would be? Yeah. Plus tiny horses, they would replace the pug dog and those little tiny dogs that the women have that they carry around in Beverly Hills. You could have little horses instead. Little tiny horses. So, yep, chickens the size of horses and horses the size of chickens. Right, so that brings us to the end of the questions. I hope you enjoyed it. Just shut the laptop down. It just leaves me to say thank you very much for watching. Do appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, to share, to do all those things that you need to do. I love you all. Stay safe. Fish out.
Get all your bags, get out my house. I don't want your stuff around. I never did you wrong, but you did me wrong. So go ahead, get gone. Get all your bags, get out my house. I don't want your stuff around. I never did you wrong, but you did me wrong. So go ahead and get gone.